Beijing says its live fire exercises in the South China Sea are meant to defend against naval and air attacks in the contested waters. But Vietnam says those Chinese patrols endanger navigation. It says China's Navy fired on a Vietnamese fishing trawler near the disputed Paracel Islands. China says it's done nothing wrong. Foreign Ministry spokesman Hong Lei.
The response by the relevant Chinese body against the illegal Vietnamese fishing boat was appropriate and reasonable.
In the South China Sea, Beijing has worked to separate rival claimants, says International Institute for Strategic Studies fellow Christian LeMiere.
Obviously, Vietnam on its own and in bilateral discussion with China is in very much a weaker position. But if it can gather the support of the US or Japan or India, or at least demonstrate that these states have a stake in the negotiations, then Vietnam finds itself in a much stronger position as well.
In its dispute with China, the Philippines is taking South China Sea rivalries to the United Nations while reaffirming old alliances.
The Philippines is one of our 5 Asia-Pacific allies, and a very, very important relationship at this point in time where there are tensions over the South China Sea, where we support a code of conduct, and we are deeply concerned about some of those tensions, and we'd like to see it worked out through a process of arbitration.
So might Vietnam join the Philippine move to UN arbitration? Johns Hopkins University professor Ruth Wedgwood thinks it should.
To my mind, it would make sense for Vietnam to join them and make it a parallel declarations that the Chinese Coast Guard, whether at the instance of the governor of Hainan or whether in the direction of Beijing, really ought not to be pressing each other neighbor in the region to withdraw to a 3-mile limit as in the olden days. And the Chinese are pressing very hard.
It's that pressure that makes American University professor Koon Heng believe Vietnam, Malaysia and Brunei will not join the Filipino claim. She says the legacy of Chinese invasion makes Vietnam especially cautious.
Something Vietnam does, there's huge pushback by the Chinese. And the Vietnamese understand, that there's so much they can do because, in the last 10 years, naval modernization by the Chinese have proceeded so quickly.
China claims most of the more than 3 million square kilometers sea from Singapore to the Taiwan Strait, through which half the world's commercial shipping passes. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.